Book 137. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Motivation with Matthew Daniels, and today I'm going to tell you guys about the enemy of my enemy is my soulmate. That's right, the enemy of my enemy is my soulmate. But what is Matthew Daniels talking about? A long time ago, in the area of the earth that we call East Africa today, there stood two rival kingdoms who were equal in strength, power, and hate for one another. The two kings of these two kingdoms were the descendants of several kings before them. All kings of these lands were at war with each other since their very foundation, and after the first two kings, no one could even remember what started the war in the first place. However, they continued the violence. One day, the daughter of one of these kings grew tired of her father's controlling and bloodthirsty ways, so she ran away from home and went to live in the wilderness. Her father sent several expeditions to locate her and bring her home, but they were all unsuccessful. Meanwhile, the son of the other king also grew tired of his father's controlling and bloodthirsty ways, so he too ran away from home and went to live in the wilderness. Over time, this daughter and son came across each other while looking for food, and they decided to live together in the wilderness and help each other to survive. These two quickly fell in love with each other, and they would spend every night complaining about the lives they ran away from. Before long, these children's love for each other grew immensely, and they hated their parents for carrying on a generational war for no good reason. One day, the daughter and son left the wilderness and returned to their separate kingdoms. They were welcomed home with open arms, and the two kings asked where they had been. They each said they were kidnapped by the rival kingdom and held captive for several years. This enraged the two kings, and they set out to avenge their children against their enemy. Both kings gathered their armies and set out to the spot where their children said they were held hostage. When they arrived, the two armies were ambushed by a great dragon who wasted no time in making a great slaughter of both armies and the two kings. The daughter and son, happy that their plan to get rid of their parents was successful, rejoiced at the slaughter, and they then took control of their father's kingdoms. Having killed all of the older generation who still held on to the old war, they formed an alliance through marriage, and the daughter gave birth to a son of her own. This son unified both kingdoms into one, and he ushered in an era of peace and prosperity that had never been seen before in all the land. And so, the morning motivation of today is, the enemy of my enemy is my soulmate. Many of us have inherited problems, curses, bad behavior, and enemies that we carry around with us for no good reason. Indeed, the issues of the past have a way of attaching themselves to the present, and mankind seems compelled to hold on to these issues as if these issues make any sense to hold on to. Today, family, I want you to be strong enough to forge your own path. Do not be afraid to do something different than your parents and grandparents did. Do not be afraid to do that which is good. Even if you have inherited a tradition of doing evil, you can always change and you can always become better. Never get stuck in a cycle of negativity, especially if you do not know why the negativity started in the first place. And remember, you are awesome, you are amazing, you are wonderful, and you are great. And you are going to change the world. I just hope I'm still alive to see it, family. I'm out. Good morning.